Last week as a year 2 law student, when Saffron and I were doing some of our electives yesterday, some of them were already 80% full. That was a topic that we had to self-teach. I did get a C+ on that assignment. I think it's really important to try and have a rest day. Good morning everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Today I thought I would do another uni vlog. I wanted to film this week because it is my last week of semester 2. As long as I pass everything, fingers crossed, this is my last week as a year 2 law student. This year in general has just absolutely flown by. Like, I cannot believe we're at the point now of being the last week of semester. That is just insane. So I just wanted to take you guys along. I've got my final classes this week. Some of my classes have already finished, but we can talk about that kind of as the week goes through. Today is currently Tuesday, I think it's the 21st of October today, and I have got 2 lectures today. I have my public law lecture, which is from 12 to 2. This semester we've been talking about judicial review, so basically like when people can make a claim to the court, like their case may not have been heard properly. I've talked about like whether the decision that was made by the judge was illegal, whether it followed proper procedure, whether it was unreasonable, like all that kind of stuff. So today is going to be a revision lecture on all of that. This afternoon I have got my Law of Torts class from 4 to 6, and we've kind of been going over like different torts this semester. We started off with private nuisance. We've also done defamation, we've done a couple of privacy torts, trespass, and I assume that it will be a revision lecture for that as well. So I'm hoping that that will be quite helpful as to know like kind of what is coming up in the exam, and also just tips and tricks on like preparing our notes and things like that. After torts today, Phil and I will go straight to Bible study, and then we'll get home very late. So it will mainly just be classes today. My plan for that time in the middle, the 2 hours that I've got in between my public law and my Law of Torts, I just plan to go to the library and just do some study. On the Saturday just gone, I went to what's called an exam study wire type thing for all of my papers, and they kind of just like gave you tips and tricks about like what was in the exam. You kind of like briefly went over the content, and that was actually really helpful to know kind of what to put in your notes, and just as like kind of like a bit of a refresher for the exam. That was really helpful, so I'm feeling a lot more prepared going into this week. Let me just quickly show you guys today's outfit. I have this white jumper on here. It's like a little like cropped crew neck sweater. This one is thrifted, originally from ASOS. I have just got like a white long sleeve underneath, which I think is originally like cotton on or glassons, but again I thrifted it. Then I've just put on my beige linen pants because it's been starting to get really hot here now. Like over the weekend we hit like 24 degrees, so I thought it's time. These I actually thrifted as well. I thrifted these a couple years ago in Vlogmas, but they're originally from Country Road. I haven't currently got my shoes on, but I am gonna wear my white Supergas. In my hair, I hope you guys can see, but I've got this little bow clip thing, which is from Kmart. This is actually the first outfit that I ever wore to uni. I wore this to O Week in my first year. You guys have pretty much seen everything else that I've been up to this morning. So did my quiet time, started reading the Book of Ruth, which I actually really like the Book of Ruth. Have been reading through my Christian non-fiction book, which you guys would have seen, and then I also got all of the washing in from outside. I have made our bed, I emptied the bin in the bathroom, and then just took all of our like used towels downstairs, and that's pretty much been my day. I didn't film anything yesterday because I don't have classes on Monday, and I just did like a big like house reset. Like I just set up myself for the week, declutter all my emails, declutter my Google Photos that I don't need. I went out in the garden for like 3 hours and like did some weeding and stuff, and then Phil and I did a lot of baking as well. We baked a banana cake and baked a brownie. We prepped for Connect Group tonight. I am about to head off to the bus, and so I will catch you guys when we are on the way to uni. If you are new here, you've probably gathered by the title, but I am doing a Bachelor of Laws degree and I'm in my second year out of 4 years. Almost halfway through. Good morning, guys. Today is Wednesday. I have one lecture today. So I have my last real property lecture, which is from 12 to 2. So real property talks a lot about like land, how land is owned, roads, leases, cross leases, subdivisions, like all of that kind of stuff. To be honest, it's not my favorite paper and it has been very challenging. It's quite like a hard paper. I have had a really good lecturer throughout this semester, so that has been good. So I just have that from 12 to 2 today, and then my plan is to come home, try and do like a bit more study, and then Phil and I tonight will head out and get groceries, and then depending on what time we get back I may or may not do some more study. It just depends, because we usually get back quite late and then we like cook dinner and get ready for bed. Yesterday I don't think I talked to you at all since I like had spoken to you this morning. So I did go to the library. I did finish one reading and then I did start another one, and then I kind of parked that. Saffron came, which you guys would have seen. She came into the library and sat with me, and then we both enrolled in all of our papers for next year. So all of our compulsory ones, and then we also picked some electives as well. And I feel like doing that has just given me like the motivation to just really like finish up this year well and try and get like the best grades that I can, because I'm genuinely like really excited for a lot of my papers next year. So I do have some compulsory, some I've chosen, but I will let you guys know all about that in my year 3 semester 1 week 1 vlog, because I plan to vlog that week as well. So very, very exciting. I'm so happy that that is done, because a lot of the electives were filling up. My torts lecture yesterday finished like an hour early, which was stunning. So I went back to the library and continued reading one of the readings that I had for real property. So I was doing like real property readings yesterday. Didn't finish it, so I'm gonna try and finish it this week, but it is quite a long reading, so we'll see how we go with that. Yesterday I did completely forget to bring my pencil case case and bring my to-do list. So that was a bit of a pain, but I always keep like a spare pen in my bag, so that was fine. And then I just looked on like course resources and just picked something that I knew was on my list. Just on the note of electives, I think it's good to enroll in your electives as soon as possible, because when Saffron and I were doing some of our electives yesterday, some of them were already 80% full. The enrollment had come out on Monday, so like that is just crazy. So make sure you get in early, that way you can pick the ones that you want. You can kind of like customize your timetable, and I'm really happy with my timetable for next year. Got about 20 minutes until I need to catch the bus, so I thought what I would do is I will show you guys the notes that I took from my lectures yesterday. So starting off with public, I've actually moved on to this book here because I completely like filled up my other one. These are the notes that I took from yesterday. Again, I didn't have my pencil case, so I need to like actually like underline headings and stuff. We just talked about like some concepts from semester 1 that were going to be in the exam structure, how we're to write and the structure with that, and kind of just like a little bit about like what to put in your notes and things like that. And then we did like kind of like a workshop problem in the lecture, which was quite good, so we could talk about like the decisions and like in the problem and what ones were able to be reviewed, under what grounds. Public law is basically just like how parliament and stuff works. And then for torts, I only took these notes here. Again, normally I take like at least like 4 pages of notes. I think it's got up to 6 before in a torts lecture, but we just finished off the last privacy tort that we were going through, which is intrusion and seclusion. A lot of privacy was doubled up from last year because in legal reasoning and writing we did privacy, so like I pretty much knew like all of this already, so that was really helpful. And then we just talked a little bit about the exam and kind of like what content would be in the exam, how it works with the questions, and things like that. Also, as a side note too, I really love these brown books from Kmart because they just have like a lot of pages in them, and I've managed to keep all of my torts notes from semester 1 and semester 2 in the same book, as well as like case readings and like articles and stuff. So I just find these are like the perfect amount of pages, and they're only like $4, so like so good. If you're new to my channel as well, you can probably gather, but I handwrite all of my notes. I find that's the best way for me to be able to get it into my head. All of the exams at AUT, like the law exams, are handwritten, so it also gives me like good practice for my exams. I've got my uni bag here today packed and ready to go, so I've just got my real property book, I've got some snacks, and then just like pencil case, book, all that. This, by the way, is my uni bag. This is the Janie bag from Me Piace, and I find it's just a really good size. Do also excuse my dirty mirror. I need to give the house like a big deep clean, but I'm not going to do that until after my exams. Here is my outfit today. I've just gone for kind of like girly, but also like tried to have enough layers so that I'm like warm, but not enough layers that I'm like overheating. This new little cropped black corduroy jacket, which I actually thrifted when Phil and I were away in Taranaki. It's originally from Ali, but it's also got like the fleece on the inside, kind of gives like Gilmore Girls vibes. Underneath I've just got this little like white blousey top, which is from Farmers. I've just got these jeans on, which are my favorite jeans at the moment. I'm loving these. These are just from Kmart. They're a really nice wash of denim, and they also cut really nice on me. And then I haven't put my shoes on yet, but I'm gonna put on my black Florentine loafers from Me Piace. They're like a dupe for the Prada ones. I'm feeling really nice and cute. I've also done my hair a little half up, half down, but I haven't like put anything else in it. I'll catch you guys when we are on the way to uni. Hey guys, so as you can see I'm back home now. It is actually quite a lot later. Class finished like almost on time. We finished like 15 minutes early, and then I came home, had some lunch, and I've just been letting my computer charge up because it was completely and utterly flat. So I've just like had a bit of chill time, just like watching some YouTube and just organizing all of our bills for the fortnight. I am gonna sit down and do some study before Phil finishes work. He finishes in like an hour, but by the time that he gets home it'll be like an hour 32 hours, so that'll give me like a good amount of time that I can just sit and crack on with some study until he gets here, and then we head out to do groceries. I thought I would show you guys the notes that I had taken from my real property lecture today. We just talked a little bit more about Māori land and how that works with like customary rights, and then we did also go through some exam prep and kind of like how the questions are going to work, and also my lecturer gave us some things to focus on for the exam, which is a lot of stuff. We also did get like a handback sheet for the assignment as well, what answers our lecturer was kind of wanting to get from the assignment and the questions, and also just like areas where people went wrong. And I actually think that that is super duper helpful, because then it actually shows what they were what the lecturer was wanting, and also like areas where you could have improved on. So I need to like go through that with my assignment and just like double check kind of like everything over a little bit. I also don't know how much I have updated you on assignments and grades and things like that, because as of me filming this, I'm actually still yet to edit my first week of Sem 2, but I think maybe we will just sit down tomorrow when I've got like a little bit more time, and we can just chat through assignments and grades and things like that. I honestly just wish that all of our classes did that, because it gives you a really good indication of like where you went wrong, why you got the grades that you did, what they were looking for, because a lot of the time they just don't do that, and it's not helpful, because it's like, how are you supposed to improve if you like don't know what they were wanting? I'm not going to show the handout just in case my lecturer decides to do that question in future, and because the handout, he said he was not putting it online. So sometimes I do some study at the coffee table, and sometimes I do it at my desk. So my friend Hannah, shout out to you Hannah, I know that you watch these videos, she has been recording like a lot of our law lectures, because law lectures at AUT aren't automatically recorded, and I had the flu a couple of weeks ago, so I was not able to attend class. I was so sick. I think my plan for this evening is just to catch up on my week 10 public law lecture. I've started it. I listened to like the first half of it. This is my to-do list. I have not updated this from the other day, but like it just looks really long. There's like a lot that I need to do. It's also like a little bit over the page. There's just so much to get through each week, and I just cannot get through all of it. I think I'm just going to continue probably reading that document that I started. Today is Thursday, and it's actually quite late in the day. It's like 10 to 4 as I am turning on my camera. Usually on Thursdays I have a morning lecture from 10 to 12 for law of contracts. However, we finished all of our contract lectures last week, so I am fully done with contracts now, and I've just literally spent the day at home today. I got up this morning, did my quiet time. I have been prepping dinner, because dinner I need to do like a marinade and then corn flour, and then let that sit in the fridge before I fry up dinner. I made the bed. I have just been at my laptop, and I've just like edited the rough cut of a video. My laptop has been charging. I've had some lunch, and now I'm at 10 to 4 in the day, so it's been a pretty productive day. I just wanted to sit down and kind of just chat through the semester, because obviously I haven't done any like day in my life or week in my life vlogs. I did plan to do a week in my life, but this semester has just been like pretty intense. I've had like some personal things going on, like I got really sick with the flu as well, so there's just been a lot that I haven't really felt like I have necessarily like wanted to pick up my camera and vlog. And I have also had like a lot of other videos prepped and ready to go that I ideally would like to try and get out before the end of the year, so I've mainly just been like prioritizing those. Semester 2 overall I have actually really enjoyed. I feel like it's been kind of the same level of hardness, degree of difficulty so far as first semester. In terms of like assignments and things and kind of what I've done, I had a torts assignment where we were talking about negligent misstatement, and that was a topic that we had to self-teach by like reading cases and stuff, and I just feel like that's like not the most practical way that I personally learn. So that assignment I ended up getting a C on. I got 55%, which is not great. I did work really hard on it, and saying that, I'm happy that I passed, and it was also at a time when I've had a lot of personal stuff going on, so like mentally I've been like quite checked out. And then I have had a piece for public law which was due. It wasn't like a piece that was marked, it's just like a piece for participation, so that was an in-person hand-in, and that was in week 9. I also have had an assignment for real property which was due at the end of our mid-semester break. So we had 7 weeks of classes and then had a break, which normally it's like 6 weeks and then you have a break. The real property assignment was due at the start of week 8, and that one was also quite a challenging assignment. It was all kind of like to do with like mortgages and leases. We had 1,500 words including footnotes, which if you're a uni student you know that 1,500 words in general is not a lot of words to work with, and when it includes footnotes it was pretty hard to try and get the assignment into that word count. I managed to do. I did get a C plus on that assignment at 60%, so I am really happy that I passed, because I know that some people failed. The medium grade was kind of like a C plus, so at least I'm kind of like average. I'm happy that I passed. Again, I would have preferred if it was like B minus. I've also done a quiz for contracts. We had a quiz that was due end of week 10, I think, which was just like a quiz on the Contract and Commercial Law Act, which is like the main act that you deal with when you are dealing with contracts. Kind of just like could redo it as many times until you got it right. So the first time I think I got 10 out of 16. The next time I did it I got 15 out of 16, and then like the next time was like 16 out of 16, so that was good. And that again is just for participation marks. We did also have a formative test for contracts, which unfortunately I was not able to sit because that was on the week that I was off with the flu. Like I literally went to my doctor's because I was so sick. He was like, yeah, you can't like go in and sit this. So I sent a medical certificate through, but unfortunately they can't like give out extensions for that, so I couldn't like resubmit it at a later date. The semester was actually a lot more nice in terms of like assignments, because we only really had 2. And then I do have a piece for torts, for my torts workshop for participation, that's due tomorrow, which I plan to work on this evening a little bit. Pretty much all my classes I'm averaging in like the C range, apart from trusts, which was a semester 1 paper where I got a B overall. Oh, actually no. Contracts is the one class that I am averaging higher. So contracts I'm averaging B minus because I got a B minus on my assignment. I don't know how I'm doing better in real property than I am in public and torts, because I feel like I understand those better. Yesterday I did finish listening to part 2 of the week 10 lecture. I have also just caught up in notes from my last public law workshop, because again I missed that because I was out with the flu. Just written all of those notes down in this book here. I have literally just spent some time screenshotting bits and pieces from the slides, so whether that's like commentary or cases or like legislation that's just too much for me to write out. Now I'm officially all caught up in public law, which feels great. With handwriting my notes, I do also have like a folder on my computer for each of my subjects and like papers that I've taken, so you can see contract law, torts, public law, real property and trusts. So then if I click on public law, I've got assignments, Sem 1, so that's like any commentary legislation, and then Sem 1 cases, and then I've got Sem 2 and Sem 2 cases. These are everything that I've screenshotted from this semester. Got my cases. When I make my notes for my exam, I look in this folder, and then I also look in like this book here with all of these notes, and then I kind of compile them all together to make my notes. So I think my plan for right now is to catch up on my torts lecture that I missed again in that same week while I was out with the flu. So I'm going to catch up on that lecture, and I'm going to catch up in that workshop, and then I'm going to go through and screenshot the slides.
There's a historical dispute which has been abolished in New Zealand by the Education Act 1954. Defamation used to be a crime.
Good morning everybody. So today is Friday. I have my last class for semester 2 for year 2 law. Usually on Fridays my enrolled classes I have contracts from 9 to 10. I actually ended up switching my real property workshop. Originally it was at 4 to 5, which is just like really late, but I ended up moving it to 11 to 12, and then I normally have torts straight after that from like 12 to 1, and on Friday I've had all of my like tutorials and workshops. Today however I only have my torts class because we finished up our contract workshops and our real property workshops last week. But I have been going to my friend's tort class. I've been going to Katie's tort class because it's at a better time. 10 to 11 torts workshop. We are going over privacy. This morning Phil is going to drive me in because he starts a little bit later. It'll take me like longer on the bus than what I would be in class, so it just makes sense. And then I'm just going to come home. I'm going to work on those pieces for torts because I just have to write up like answers to 2 of the problems that we have done and then just send that all through. Do excuse the unmade bed in the background. I'm probably just going to make it when I get home. This like green very lightweight knit jumper on. This is thrifted, but I think it's originally cotton on. Underneath I just have my white Future Self t-shirt. It's like the Unity one that they did for the Australian bushfires. It's a really comfy shirt. I've just got this like black skirt which has like a little slit in the side. This is Kmart, and then I haven't put my shoes on yet. My socks are Christopher Robin from Winnie the Pooh. My mum got like a whole set of them when she went away to Hawaii, so she brought them back for me. I think I'm gonna wear my floral Echo sneakers because they have like green in the florals, and I just think that'll like bring out the green in my top. Just put my hair in this like ponytail and have used this like pink gingham scrunchie from Kmart because my hair needs a wash. So on hair wash days it either goes up in a ponytail or it goes up in a claw clip. So it is about 2 o'clock and I have just been sat at the computer for the last like 2 hours or so, and I have just finished writing up my piece for torts. I've also got my cat Maya sitting on my lap. She is such a lap cat, like she gets really antsy if you don't give her a lap to sit on. I chose to write up the privacy problems, so I did both intrusion into seclusion and wrongful publication of private facts, and then I also chose to do defamation as well. So this is all done. My computer is literally dying, so I think it is time to hand this in. Again, it's not being marked, it's just worth like 2.5 participation marks. We also don't have to do like references or anything either. Yay! And it is up. So it is a lot later now. I might actually take these off. It has just gone 8:30 in the evening and I have just finished catching up on that tort lecture that I was halfway through. So now I'm like all caught up in torts and public law, which is great. I've also just gone through and screenshotted everything that I need from week 11 and week 12 as well, so I'm very happy about that. Since I had talked to you guys last, I had finished doing all the editing on my video. I've uploaded that. I also did post on Instagram, edited all those photos and had dinner, and then I literally have just sat and smashed through the rest of this. But I need to head out now and pick up Phil from work, and I'm not going to do any more uni tonight because by the time that we come home I will have to have a shower and then it'll pretty much be bedtime. Today it is Saturday and it is the last day that I'm gonna film for this last week of semester vlog, because Sundays I have like a chill rest day. I don't do any uni on Sundays. I think it's really important to try and have a rest day. It is about 5:30. I've got dinner in the slow cooker. I'm doing like a kind of like an Italian herbs and chicken tomatoey pasta type thing. I've literally just whooshed around the house. I've cleaned the toilet, cleaned the bathroom, made the bed, put a load of towels on, and they're like currently hanging outside on the line, wiped down our bedside tables, wiped down our dresser, and then I've vacuumed the entire house and then kind of just like put little bits and pieces away, emptied the dish rack, like all of that stuff. So now the house is feeling nice and clean, but I think it is time to sit down and do some uni. First order of business is I want to make my files for my exam notes in my binder, and then I'm going to sit down and try and listen to some of the real property lectures. If you have not watched any of my uni videos before, I have a binder that I started up when I was in first year, so it's just got like a little bit about like the law degree itself. I've got like all of my exam notes, workshop notes, cases, like exams and stuff, all from first year and second year, and I've got like color coded little tabs that kind of tell me what is what, my stuff from semester 1 and whatnot. So I want to make some of these for semester 2. So that is done. So I've got torts, real property. This thing I mucked up because I accidentally did real property twice, but I don't have any more of these arrows. I literally had just enough. So for now I've just had to twink it, but I think next year when I get some more arrows I might redo that. Public law, and then my exams. I'm literally so happy that I had enough. Hello guys, so it is a lot later now. It is 10:30. I finished the first half of the week 10 real property lecture. The second half of it wasn't recorded, but I also just felt like my brain was just like getting a bit too like overstimulated with just looking at lecture recordings. So Phil and I had dinner. We watched an episode of The Sandman because we're trying to get through season 2. We finished season 5 of Gilmore Girls, and I have just been sat at my computer the last like hour and a half, and I have just finished reading this document. that I started reading on Tuesday. So I think on Tuesday I got up to page 9. You can see there is 35 pages, but from page 28 onwards is all just legislation. I've literally just sat here and read like 20 pages of notes all on leases. I've also been taking notes as well, so like all of these. I don't know if I ever showed you my notes from my torts workshop. We just went through like breach of confidence, intrusion into seclusion, and then wrongful publication of private facts, and then we just went through like the problem and like how you would apply it, and then a little bit about the difference between defamation and privacy. That workshop too, I think, only went for like 40 minutes. I think that that is going to be it for this last week of semester vlog. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed coming along with me for my last week of semester 2 as a year 2 law student. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Please make sure to turn on the notifications and check out my social media. It's always linked down below in the description box. If you would like to watch any more content from my second year of law at uni, or even my first year as well, I will leave my uni playlist down below. I have one more vlog planned for year 2, which is obviously my exam vlog, which is crazy. I will be starting that on Friday. My first exam is on Friday, which this semester has just gone so fast. Like, it's actually insane. I am going to love you and leave you, and I will see you guys in my next vlog. Bye.